All right, all right, all right. How is it going? How is it going, you fine people? You fine peoples! How is it going? Let's go. Let's go! Guys, gals, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you dropping by. You know I love that. You know I do. Let's go. Turning you guys and gals up. Appreciate you. Lurkers, twerkers, sandwich making workers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Much love, much love. Every single one of you dropping by, showing the love, checking it out. Appreciate you. Hitting the play button. Turn that up. You know I love it. I love it when you drop on by. I love it. I can't say it enough. Guys and gals, you beautiful, intelligent, 120 IQ and higher peoples. I don't know. I just love saying it. Let's go. Followers, supporters, you know I appreciate you. You know I do. Every single one of you. Much love. I'm gonna quickly shout out a few of you. And then I'm going to first I need to finish in chat. And then we're gonna shout you out. Just got to get this mod stuff done and out of the way. Slowly getting a little bit quicker at this. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turnips up. Turn up your turnips. I had to come up with some new material. That's my new material, guys and gals. Don't you love it? All right. Finishing up here in chat so I could close this document. Get it out of the way. Let's go. All right. Okay, that's done. You know I appreciate you being here. Yeah, is this the one document I'm looking for? I want to just quickly thank you supporters, followers of the channels. You guys and gals are all great. You're all great. Yeah, I know. It's, sometimes it's hard for me to say because like it feels good when you guys support the channel. Okay? It means a lot. It truly does. And it touches feelies insides. It does. It does. Here we go. One more quote. Appreciate your patience stopping on by. I'll let you guys and gals settle in. Hopefully you got your coffee, you've had enough sleep, and all those sort of things, and you're ready to learn. Get your notepad all together, your note-taking skills and utensils and what else not you use. However, whatever you use to learn. Why can I not ever remember which document has... There's only two. Okay, here we go, finally. I want to throw out the love to you Twitch supporters and YouTube as well. You guys and gals, appreciate the support over the last couple of months, slowly growing the channel. Twitch, you've been, man, you guys, gals, you've been so great. Thank you for the views. I don't want to, I'm not trying to say anything bad towards YouTube, but man, you guys on Twitch turning it up. You're killing it. You're killing it. You're killing it. I love it. Pull up your I was gonna say pull up your pants over there, but anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. Either way, I appreciate my followers, supporters. There's a bunch of you on YouTube as well that are committed to watching. I know you guys are. Okay. But yeah, it's great. It's great. Great to have you. Let's throw out the love to Nicole Trace, Bart, number 1, Jim Jam, 1238, Kazert, 20, Gavin, 555, Kamikaze ML, my guy, I Ducky, let's go, Wicked Stats, Con Papa's 9, Slow Motions, Amir Hassan, 23, Kenny M. Gassé, A Music, Chama 117, Rough Riders Gaming, how's it going, brother? Low Level RS, let's go. Thank you for the support. Over on YouTube, Nap, Vision with a $, Peter N or Peter N, Caesar Rojas, Tech Dave 99. How you doing, Tech Dave? WX87, Flawless Hack, Salt of the Earth Ministry, Blessed Brother, Ayawi, and Christian Zuler. I hope I got that right, with an R at the end as well. Let's go. Thank you for the support, guys and gals. I appreciate you. Thank you for learning over here on the channel. I'm doing my best, guys and gals. Doing my best, okay? For you, I'm keeping the grind going. Those of you that are watching the content, putting in the views, you guys and gals, you keep me going too over here, okay? You keep me going over here too. I'm enjoying doing this, these instructional teaching videos. It's kind of fun for me. And I'm hoping to help you learn and grow as well. If C++ is a language you want to learn, and it's new to you, or you just want to learn a new coding language in general, I'm telling you, if you learn C++, any other language is going to be easy. I'm telling you, I'm just giving you. If you do the hardest thing first, I don't want to call C++ the hardest, guys and gals, but let's just use the phrase, it's the most comprehensive and most challenging, I guess. It's challenging. It can be challenging, okay? There's lots to learn, but I'm telling you, any other language, there's things to learn too, or as well, of course, right? But C++, man, if you could get C++, any other language is like gravy on your potatoes. Like, you're going to have nothing but easy days, I'm telling you. Okay? I also can do C# coding as well. If you are a game indie developer, or you want to be an indie game developer, you definitely learn C#. Okay? Yeah, I don't know. With Unity's code uses C#. I was just kind of thinking of the other 3D or 2D gaming development software out there, what languages they use. I don't have an answer for that because I don't know. But C#, just as easy, gravy on your potatoes to learn. Okay, the syntax is just different. The theory, everything's all the same. Okay? Again, those are managed languages. C++, you have to do your own housekeeping in regards to memory or managing memory. Not that difficult to do. A little bit of cleaning up. It's not even that hard to do. You could actually set up classes as kind of like a wrapper to do all your cleaning up for you. So you don't even have to do anything. You just set up a class. Wrapper class, boom, 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 does all the magic for you. Stay tuned. I'll show you guys and gals how to do that. But yeah, we got to get through all the, the theory and the basics and all the tools that you can use, when you're doing your programming or coding. Again, you don't have to use all the tools in your toolbox, but there's so many options and variations out there. It's great. You have lots of tools. You just pick and choose the right tool for the task, right? Guys and gals, let's go vibes. So yeah, I got that done. Shoutouts are done. I'll throw out the yays here. Different yays. The crowd roars. The crowd roars. Roaring. Because I love doing that for you guys and gals as well. My crowd fam. Right here. Yeah. That's right. That's for you viewers, supporters, followers of the channel, whichever channel or platform, streaming platform I'm on. Appreciate your support. You know I do. I say it enough. I say it probably more than anybody else. Probably, most likely. But at least you know. Let's go. I believe we're good on the stream. My Streamlabs microphone seems to be doing what microphone thingies do. In my mixer. But we'll check quickly. I said do that. We're good. We are good. Golden like the Golden Girls. Oh yeah. I just like saying that, guys. It's fun. It is fun for me. All right. Let's go. Those of you dropping by, if you're new to coding and want to learn C++, I recommend you follow my series right from the beginning. Start at the first step. We're all gradually growing here. Well, all y'all, right? Step by step, gradually in a linear fashion, right? So yeah, I recommend you start from the beginning, right? Because I don't want you to be lost. You have to kind of just follow along. And then once you catch up to us, we're all going to be playing golf together. Don't you want to play golf together, guys? Help the channel grow. We'll go play golf together. Want to be fun? We'll do best ball. For fun. Wouldn't that be good times? It'd be good times. It would be. It would be, but things need to grow and things need to happen. Once I start eating beef Wellington instead of bologna sandwiches, that's when we're going to be playing golf. Huge difference between bologna sandwiches and beef Wellington, I'm telling you. I keep going though. Keep pushing myself, you guys and gals with the views. Can't get my words out, but anyways, yeah. Keep it up. I love it. Thank you for the support. Keep watching. I love it. So yeah, start from the beginning. Then follow along when you get back to here to this video. Man, it's great to have you. It's good to see you again. Oh man, I am so happy you got this far. That's so beautiful. It really is. You're a master coder by now. Well, maybe not master. It's okay. You're doing great. Come on, let's be real. Getting to this point, you've done a good job. A great, outstanding job. Keep going. Keep it up. So, yeah, and then I guess it's time to learn. right? Again, this is a course slash lecture we're doing, guys and gals. For those of you that haven't been, if you're new and just checking it out, that's what we're doing here. It's a course slash lecture. I kind of chat a little bit in the beginning, show my appreciation for your support, and do those sort of things. I know it's kind of lengthy in that, but I like to chat a little bit with you guys and gals, okay? There is, typically I will, I always do actually, as a matter of fact. I export all my videos to YouTube, to keep the content for you guys and gals, right? So that you can learn. So Whiskey Tango Sharp, okay? And it's all there. There's a courses section. YouTube, great job, YouTube, right? I'll give you guys and gals kudos. They have a courses section. So you know how you have like a playlist tab and sort of thing? Well, they have a courses tab now. Maybe that's been around for a while. I don't know. It's new to me, and it's great. So I like it. Yeah, it's a course lecture, okay? And I usually say this typical joke, if you're looking for a 5-minute video on how to write a variable name, and that video gets 1 million views because it's super lame sauce and it's very, basic. I'll just say basic, keeping it friendly and nice in my comments and response. But yeah, that's just mind-blowing, mind-blowing. 5 million views on how to type a variable name? That's amazing! Man, I'm gonna start doing videos like that, I think. Let's go. Okay, that's enough of that. Guys and gals, it's time to put on the old thinking cap. Leave the dunce caps for those that say, learning, I don't like to learn. Ugh, pewy, come, flowy. Yeah, leave that for them, okay? You guys are better. I don't care which side you're on, right? Because we all can learn. And yeah, you're all benefiting, learning, growing, improving your mind, your knowledge, and filling the old library in the brainium cranium. I love it. Let's go. So yeah, flick the switch in the old brainium cranium. Let's get to learning. It is time. That is enough chitty chatter, talking chatter. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Great to have you. And let's learn. Okay. It is time. We are doing for loops now. We're getting into for loops. Last stream we were working on while loops and do while loops. Thankfully, I was able to show you a decent example on the differences between a while loop and a do while. Yeah. I'm going to thank Bucky for that do while, because, yeah, that was a great example. And I used his example, so I want to thank him for that. And, yeah. So if you watch that, you know what's up, which is awesome. So now we're working towards for loops. We're going to do a demonstration of a for loop, which I haven't yet, but I did kind of do this basic while loop still. And then I showed you what the setup is for a for loop. There's a little bit more information to put into the brackets or parentheses for a for loop, but don't let that scare you. I'm going to break it into 3 parts, okay? 3 parts. And let me show you those 3 parts, okay? Here we go. Okay, don't mean to flashbang you. That's not the goal. That was not the goal. Okay, hope your eyes are okay. Got your sunglasses on? All right, good. It's awesome. For loops. All right, variables, I and j are common variables for for loops. You will see that it's very common. If you have a second for loop, because you can have a for loop inside of a for loop, yeah, mind blowing. But it's not so bad. It's just doing more things for you. That's all. And you'll see J for the second loop. We won't do that. We're just gonna start with the basic for loop, right? We're gonna KISS method here, right? Keep it simple, Stanley. You know, that's what we're doing. So there's 3 parts, and if you look here, you can see inside our for loop. I'm gonna kind of do that so that you can see a little bit clearer. Okay, this goes way over here. All right, there we go. Okay, I break it into what I call initialization or start. Right, we need a starting value. A lot of times it'll be 0 or 1. Okay, typically. I is your variable. You can declare I outside your for loop. So above it, I should show you it in code, but I could show you here. I could declare I outside if I wanted to, and if I knew how to type. Right, outside and above our for loop, and then I wouldn't have to put int, right? So there's a little bit of a difference there, but the most common you'll see it declared inside, okay, between our parentheses. All right, so that's our start, and then we need a loop continuation condition. Okay, so basically it's the end. It's when it stops. So you can think of it as the stop, right? So when it reaches a max number or whatever that value is, it could be anything, it'll keep going through into the loop until it reaches that number, okay? And then the third part is the increment or loop continuation. Okay, you could also have a decrement as well. You could actually decrement as well, so there is that. We'll just do increment, okay? Now this is a bit kind of old school. Well, I don't want to say old school, but kind of you'll see it written 2 ways, post or pre or post. With my logic, just the way, if you did any practicing with the increment operator and just did some testing to see the results, which I think I did a little bit, but we didn't get too deep into it. The reason I use pre is because it gets added to I immediately before it goes to a second line or a line below. And that's why I do it. Okay? That's the simplest explanation I have for that. So, I know it's kind of my best argument, and I'm sorry. That's all I have. Okay? It just kind of, I gets incremented immediately. That's really all I could say to that. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, now this here, just ignore that. That has to do with, I was doing some prime number stuff, so that was kind of from that. So don't worry about that. Find some more definitions here. What else do we have? Okay, a for loop in C++ is a control flow statement that allows a block of code to be executed repeatedly a specific number of times. It is particularly useful when the number of iterations, that's what the I does, okay? That word iteration, right? Okay, this is the iterator, okay? You'll hear the term iteration. It's just a loop continuation. Okay. Now, I know I was kind of talking about increment and decrement and that. So I'll show you my example here. I was trying to, I guess I was just kind of trying to avoid having to talk about it. But you can see here with post, if you do any of this testing, I've done this in the past. And maybe it depends on the version of um, what you're using for your project. Let's see here. So I'm using it could be dependent on the language that you're using, right? So that may be dependent on what kind of output or results you get, right? Things get updated and improved, right? So going back to here, you can see how with post, I want to show you this because I was like, man, I better show it, right? So instead of giving you a vague explanation and trying to avoid giving you good reasoning why I use the pre-increment operator versus the post, okay? This is why. So I've run this code and you can see line by line, first it returns 12, okay? So it actually returns X first. So that's a line being printed out. So that's a statement, right? A process that happens. So this is like a 2 process step. Okay, that's my logic behind it, right? This is a 2 process step, whereas here with pre, it's an instantaneous output. You can see I get immediately 13. Okay, and we're iterating here. So the idea behind coding, guys, gals, okay, let's find my example here, right here. Okay, this is the reason why we do all this. I'm not the best at explaining things, but I try. Okay, memory performance optimization. Bottom line, that's what it's all about. Okay, as a programmer or a game designer or an app creator or whatever you want to be, yeah, with C++, again, C++ is immediate communication with the processor. It's like instant communication. It's one-on-one, right? That's why C++ is the fastest runtime language, okay? All right, so it's all about memory, it's all about performance, and then optimization is just a lot of things that you can do with your code to improve things, to make it a little bit faster, run smoother, all those sort of little details. Okay, but performance is a big thing, right? Because let's be real, a lot of people don't have a lot of patience. And you guys are lucky you didn't have the old internet dial-up days, because you wouldn't survive. Okay, I'm saying that in a nice way. All right. Web page loads 2 minutes later. Anyways, so performance, that's what it's about. Okay, and I know computers and that are faster nowadays. They truly are, right? In milliseconds or microseconds or whatever, humans really can't pick up on that. I mean, we go by seconds. We know how long seconds are, but we don't really. Maybe we could think, process quickly in milliseconds. Maybe, I don't know, but that's kind of what it's all about. But if you didn't sleep in math class, you'll know that if you keep adding x to x, that number is going to keep growing, right? So it all adds up over time, right? So that's the reason why I use pre versus post. Okay, make sense? That's my explanation. All right, I'm going to move forward from that. So the basic syntax of a for loop in C++ is as follows. Okay. Yeah, that's what they have. Initialization, test condition, action. That's what they have, right? So I kind of like mine better. And just for memory's sake, right? Initialization, loop continuation, and increment, right? Sorry, I read that all wrong. I got loop continuing. Oh, the condition, the end. Yeah, that's the condition. And this is the actual continuation. Okay, not to confuse things. Apologies, guys. Happy Friday. I need to wake up. More coffee, nurse. Nurse, coffee IV stat. Literally, not capping. Okay, let's continue. All right, so let's get rid of that. Well, not literally, but okay, I'm just going to save that anyways. Here's a breakdown. Initialization. This statement is executed only once at the beginning of the loop. Okay? It is typically used to declare and initialize a loop counter variable. Okay? I'll show you an example here. All right? And I may even read it again. Okay? Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to start typing. Okay, so let's do a for loop. I'm going to delete the stuff above. All right, so the first thing is step 1, right? And closing this. Go here, and maybe I'll just copy this so you guys have it instead, okay? And then I'm going to go like this, and we're going to do this instead. Okay, there we go. All right, that way it's there right in front of you. Okay, perfect. Initialization, right? The start. So what they said is, this statement is executed only once. Okay, this is a statement, right? Remember, every statement ends in a semicolon. Do pay attention to the syntax. Once you write enough for loops, you'll know to separate by semicolons. It just depends on what you're working with, guys and gals. Some things require commas for separation. Other things, these require semicolon because they are a statement. So it's a statement, another statement, and even this is a statement, even though we didn't really put a semicolon there, but that's okay. Okay? That's the end right here anyways. So this is the separation. It is typically used to declare and initialize, right? We're declaring and initializing, right? Declare, initialize, declare, initialize. Okay, so that's that's part 1. Oh, goodness gracious. Work with me here. All right. Condition. That's the middle, right? Condition. Right? Or the end, or whatever you want to call it. This expression is evaluated before each iteration, right? Okay, so as a matter of fact, I'm going to put that word here. Okay? Iteration. And I'm going to update that in my document as well. Okay? Just so that there's clarity. Okay. If the condition is true, the code block inside the loop is executed. All right? If the condition is false, the loop terminates, and the program continues with the statement immediately following the loop. Okay? Right? This is the end. That whatever number that is, determines when it ends, when the loop stops. Okay, that's what this does. The increment decrement, right? Again, you can't, I strongly dislike when that happens. You can decrement as well. All right. So, but we're just going to increment. Okay, this statement is executed after each iteration of the loop. Okay? It is typically used to update the loop counter variable. Okay? It increases I, if you notice. Okay? That's what keeps the continuation going. So that I gets incremented, right? So it changes while it's looping, right? Doing its thing. And each time it compares, each time it compares, each time it compares, each time it compares. Increments, each time it compares, increments, each time. You know what I mean? You're following? This statement is executed after each iteration of the loop. It is typically used to update the loop counter variable. You could call it the loop counter variable, I guess, if you want. You could even use counter, but for the most part, you'll see it's common to see I. Okay? I probably represents iteration. Either by incrementing it or decrementing it, or by a larger step. You can also do, you don't need to use the increment. You could even go I plus 2. You could do jumps as well, right? The world's your oyster to this stuff. Okay, so let's finish here. We're going to create a for loop. And if you notice, the while loop is the same thing, right? This would be part 2. This is part 2. Here's our part 3. Right? And where's our initialization? Well, I guess that would be up here. Right? So there's part 1. Here's part 2. And here's part 3. Okay? With the while loop, they're just in different sections. That's all. Okay? I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to clean things up. Loop break, counter. We don't need that. But I could technically use loop break, right? It's the same number. Okay? If I chose to. Right? I think normally you would probably declare something like that right above, right? With your code. It'd be close to it, right? Versus way above. Okay? There's no real reason to have, like, let's say this for loop is line 541, right? I mean, you could, if you're going to use loop break with the same value with every one of your for loops, I guess that would be okay. But if you're only using it, maybe the number changes. I don't know. It depends on what you're doing, right? Probably makes the most sense to just declare it right above your for loop. Okay? All right. So we're going to do it. We're going to declare. We're going to use I. It's going to begin at 0, semicolon. There's our part 1. Right? Just remember the parts. You need 3 parts to this. I is going to be less than our loop break. Okay? That's our stop number. So just think of it as our end value. If I want it to equal to 5, if I want 5 to be inclusive, then I'll just add 6. Add 1, right? The other way of doing it, if you actually want to see the number 5 and have it to be inclusive, you have to put an equal sign. I'm setting it up where when the compiler goes into this part of the code, it doesn't have to do dual comparisons. You understand? If I do this and this, it only has to do a singular comparison. Okay? So it boils down to milliseconds. Okay, and I'm using with mine, there's going to be people that argue pre, there's going to be people that argue post. You will see both forms written. You'll see I++, and you'll see ++I. Again, you understand my reasoning why? That's my reasoning why, right? Because this is still going, right? Now, I don't want to over-explain it, but it should make sense to you, right? I think mine logically is going to be a little bit faster, okay? Because it doesn't have that extra line, the extra line of code to increase I. I don't know. That's my best explanation for that. Okay? Alright, let's continue. We don't need to keep talking about that all the time. Alright? Should make sense. Iteration. And then we're gonna return I. Now, here's the other thing as well. Okay? You will see standard end line. Here's another argument. Okay, I'm not actually arguing. It's just you know what I mean? Like, it's a discussion, right? You have your point, others have their point. It's a discussion. Argument is just a word. We're not actually arguing and fighting. I mean, people should be acting like mature adults and having, adult conversation. And, that's what adults do. They could argue their points without acting like Walmart tantrum babies. All right, moving on. Let me show you something here. Okay. Here's another discussion in regards to, I use this in my for loops, okay? I'm actually kind of adamant now to use it in my for loops. And let me show you my reasoning. Okay, I got this reasoning from Tim, and it made a lot of sense. Okay, let's see. Where is that? Just got to find it. Give me a sec here. Concept, avoid and L. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm not going to go into too deep of detail, but I have this section, concept, avoid and L, or end line. End line, if you go to the code behind, if I actually go like this, I could peek the definition of what the code behind is for standard end line. Okay? I could look at it. And that's where some of this information comes from, okay? If you want to do the peek behind and have a look at the code and try to analyze it, that's up to you. I don't recommend you do it until you kind of understand coding a little bit more, all right? Now I'm not being mean, I'm saying that nicely, but still learning here, okay? There's lots to learn. That's advanced coding in the background going on, okay? All right, end line requires a second call to the operator, right? This is an overloaded operator. It's part of the O stream, okay? It's a second call. So that's just like the pre and post argument with the increment operator. It's a second call. That's what I was looking for, the wordage. That's it. It's a second call, right? Going to the next line is a second call. Right? It may be milliseconds, but it's another step. It's another process. Okay? If you could limit the number of processes the CPU is doing, the better, obviously, right? So a second call to the operator in order to write the new line. Using \n avoids an extra write operation because it's used within our string literal. Okay, so you'll see me, right, a lot of times use the single quotes \n. I will use that a lot, but you also have to clean the buffer as well. And standard end line cleans the buffer. Now, the logic, I put a standard end line at the end of my code towards the bottom of int main. My thinking is, well, while doing all the cleanup and that, why not throw a standard end line at the end before the curly bracket just to clean the buffer? Anyways, that's kind of my logic with that. So I'm kind of doing that now. Whether it makes sense or not, I don't know. I would like to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, right? Comment down below. Don't forget to hit the like button and buy me a coffee. Let's go, because Johnny without coffee, yeah, it's not. Yeah, you don't want to be around me. I am fairly nice guy for the most part, but without coffee, yeah, just a grumpy bear, just grumpy. All around grumpy. Okay, so there we go. So this is the code behind section standard manipulators. You can kind of, right, there's a flushing going on with the end line, so it's an extra call. Okay, so that's the logic for why I use the \n or the escape operator n inside a for loop. Okay, take note, inside a for loop. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use, and there you go. Now you understand the reasoning why I won't use standard end line inside a for loop. All right, you're getting extra tips and tricks over here, guys and gals. Okay, I've spent the time, I've done the research. I like researching and learning and doing research and learning and doing. I put in the time. All right, guys, I do. Again, I'm doing this, anywhere up to 10 hours a day easily. 7 days a week, easily. Okay, carrying on. Where am I going now? We are going to do some more reading, but we need to move this, all right? All right, that makes sense? So, instead of standard end line, I am going to use the \n. There we go. Faster. Our brain doesn't pick up on it, but it's still faster. Okay. And there we go. That's all we're doing. So I'm just going to iterate through this for loop 5 times, right? Because it's less than, not equal to, right? I'm going to plus I, and we're going to iterate this standard CO 5 times. Let's go. For loops are really basic, guys. There we go. Turn it up. Now you're wondering why. Okay, hold on. Let's explain this. We do have more than 5 times. Yes, we do. Just hold up. Let's do this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did get 6. Okay. We're starting at 0. That's why, right? Because 0 is actually a number. Okay. So the smartest thing for me to do, I should have started at 1. That way, right? 6 take away 1 is 5. Make sense? That's why we're getting 6, because 6 take away 0 is 6. Okay, just so you guys and gals understand what's happening. Oh, I built it again. I have the console open. That's why. Okay, if you see that link error, that's exactly what it was. Can't open, blah, 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 blah. I strongly dislike when I do that. I got to pay attention if my console's open or not, right? 0 is counted. It's inclusive, right? That's why I use the term inclusive. It's included. So that's why you see 6. Now, again, this is kind of like, get this kind of idea or concept in your head, because when we get to arrays, computers start counting at 0. I'm going to kind of give you that tip ahead of time here, guys and gals. Okay, that understanding, right? Humans, We count beginning at 1 naturally, but think of computers as bits and bytes and binary, and of course binary is zeros and ones. So if you look at computers like that, it's easy to remember that computers start counting at 0. Okay, but this is not an array, it's a for loop. But I just wanted to kind of give you that thought in your head early on here. Okay, so if you only wanted 5 iterations, I guess one thing I could do is bring this back down to 5, right? That'll work. Okay. There we go. So I have 5 iterations, right? Now you can clearly see that 0 is also counted. It's included. That's why we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have 5 iterations. I know our brains kind of break a little bit and go, well, it's not 5, it's 4. You got to just stop and think, Bob. Just stop and think, okay? Just stop and think, Bob, okay? 0's included, okay? That counts as well. The other thing I could do is, which makes a little bit more sense logically in our mind, is to make I 1, okay? And then, of course, right, so you could just do the math in your head. 6 take away 1 is 5. We're going to get 5 iterations. I always have this kind of logic in my head, n minus 1, especially when you get into arrays, right? It has to do a lot to do with kind of looking for information outside the block, the memory block. So I'm always constantly thinking of n minus 1. All right. I'll explain that further when we get to that point. Okay, it'll make more sense. See, there we go. Now this makes more sense for our own brain and mind. We look at it. Oh yeah, there we go. All we need to do is see the number 5 because it's all eyeballs. It's a visual thing. We look, bang, 5. That's the first thing our brain picks up. 5, boom. Okay, we got 5, right? That's why it makes logical sense to us, right? Okay. So that's how you fix that up. That way you're not breaking your brain all the time, right? Because I don't want you to do that. Guys, I want you to all be winners and succeed here. All right, we kind of went through all the different things that we could do with for loops. Kind of covered quite a bit, to be honest. Let's see what else we could do. Yeah, that's all the same. Okay, that's arrays. Yeah, I'm gonna close this. That's enough of that. Let's go to the course outline that I'm following. Again, this is a lecture class, guys and gals. That's what we're doing. Okay, make sure you had your coffee and your rest and all those sort of things. And I'm keeping you awake and I'm not too boring. I don't know, maybe I am. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not. Try to keep it interesting, I do. It is a learning, it's a learning topic that we're doing here, right? So that's what we're doing, learning. Okay, here we go. Here's a visual for you. I call these visuals. Okay, sorry to flashbang you. My bad. I'll let you kind of read this, right? This is just some extra information for you. You could run these lines of code. You could do them. Again, you can see, as you can see here, they don't have curly brackets in their code. You can do this, just like an if-else statement. Honestly, if you are like an organized individual, most likely you're going to be using curly brackets. Myself, I do. Excuse me, guys. Right? Just for like looking at it visually, like my brain's not going to break trying to figure out what it is. If you use curly brackets, you can actually look at it and go, okay, that's organized. I know that belongs in that, right? This for loop has curly brackets. Again, the reason curly brackets are used is because this has 2 statements. A lot of times you'll see no curly brackets used because it's a singular statement, right? It's only like, I don't know if it's a recommended thing. Some companies might frown on this, right? I know I would. Myself personally, I don't care if it's a singular statement. Use curly brackets. How hard? You only have to type one curly bracket and the other one's given to you for free. Right? Okay, I'm going to close that. Watch, right? Look. 4. I'm going to hit the left curly bracket. Boom. Both of them are made. The only thing I have to do is just do that. Okay. All right. I'm going to move forward here. Advanced for loops. Okay. 4 statements are powerful and flexible. The 3 independent statements, which I've already showed you, right? That's all here, right? I don't need to go over that again. 3 parts. Just remember the 3 parts. There's only 2 semicolons. The semicolon's separating this statement from this statement. And then this one doesn't need it, okay? There's no semicolon. So pay attention to the syntax. The more you do, you'll know, okay? It's part of learning, right? And getting this stuff stored in your memory, all right? In your library, right? Because you have a library up in your brainium cranium, okay? It doesn't sound like this. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. How are you? 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 Right? You understand? Okay? Those are the dunce cappers. Learning, pew. I don't know. I appreciate the fact that I had the privilege and the ability to learn. Whether I use it or not in life, it doesn't matter. I just like the fact that I have the ability in this day and age in society and world that we live in, the ability to learn. And I appreciate that. I am thankful and grateful for that. Okay? All right, let's carry on. Not going off topic. Let's keep learning. Multiple initialization and increments. It is not uncommon to initialize more than one variable. Okay, I don't want to confuse you guys here, but yeah, this can be. I don't want to do that. Oh, they do that in... Okay, that's interesting. All right, I'll show you this example. I don't want your brains to break, guys and gals, okay? Well, I'll just show you, this example. You could use it or not. You could just ignore it. A lot of times you'll see for loop inside of a for loop. But the way they've written it, I've never seen it done this way before. So I'll show you. We'll see if it actually works. To test a compound logical expression, right? They're compounds, right? And to execute more than one statement. The initialization and the action can be replaced by multiple C++ statements, each separated by a comma. Okay, this is interesting. Maybe I'll just, instead of typing it up, I'm going to do this instead. I'll snipping tool it. That way you can see it. All right, and you can see the output as well. All right. Okay. Now, this isn't common. I haven't seen this the first time myself seeing this, right? They have I and J. They have I and J. Okay. This is not common. This is an older lecture. Again, I'm going through it, guys and gals, because the theory and the knowledge and the syntax, for the most part, it's all the same, okay? You have the ability to do this, but for all intents and purposes, normally what I see is, I see this, Okay, this is the most common. It's a double for loop, essentially. Okay, and I'm going to copy the same thing. And this time, instead of using I, I'm using J. Okay, remember how I mentioned that? These are the two common variables. I kind of messed that up here. I have to go like it. What am I doing, Batman? I'm pasting in the wrong spot. Am I even awake today? There we go. Okay, and then I could go like this, and like this, and like this. Okay, and I think I've set it up the way it normally is. I'm just trying to recall. Of course, my eye can't be inside, right? So let me show you something. It might actually still see it because it's kind of inside of it, right? It's kind of like a local global thing if you think of it like that. It did work. It still recognizes eye because I declared it above, that's why. And it's still inside. All right, but let's see what happens, right? So this is a double or a compound for loop. Multi-dimensional, you might hear that term as well. Everything built, let's run it. Okay, there we go. Now I should have put J and I just so you can see which one is which. It does break the brain a little bit. And J and I. Okay. And we're actually printing. Let me just do this. Let's move this around a little bit. We're going to print I before the for loop. Let's see how it goes. Okay, I and then J is kind of mixing it, right? Almost like that recursion stuff going on as well. So, a little bit of brain breakage. There's a way to organize this better. I could do something like this instead. Might make life a little bit easier. Let's see. If I go like this and like this. Whoa, that did not like that. Let's go like this. And we're going to go like this. I'm just going to continue this. Control X, Control V, and then go like this. Hopefully it lets me cut that out again. That was weird what it did earlier. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to actually cut that out, put it inside here so everything's one-lined. Just trying different things out, guys and gals. Okay. Builds. Yeah, it's going to enter after each as well. The other thing I could do, I should create a space there. And it might do everything in line, which I don't really want. Maybe I do want the enter. Let's see. Okay, there we go. That's nice. So that's getting better, right? This is a two-dimensional for loop. Okay? Better organized. It does IJ, then IJ. Jumps to 4, 5, and then it goes through the second iteration. You can see that, guys and gals? A lot more organized, right? This we can understand. So that's pretty much what's happening with a double for loop. Okay, you can see its first phase is 1 and it goes through 1 through 5. Second phase, you can call them phases, I guess. The second iteration of I, it goes through all of J. Third iteration of I, it goes all the way through J, and so on. Fourth iteration, 1 through 5. Right? That we can logically see in our mind how a double for loop works. It's two-dimensional for loop. All right, you will see this sort of stuff. I just didn't set it up the way it should have been, but that's okay. And again, I made sure that my constants, my endings were both the same. Okay, you can change them, but that's okay. All right, let's continue. Null statements. Now here's another one called null statement. It's not something that's common, but it doesn't hurt to learn some of the old school, if you want to call it the old school coding, right? Still C++, guys and gals. It's been around 20 plus years, right? It's been around a while. I don't know when it was first released. I'd have to research that. I probably did at one time, but of course, I'm filling my brain with more information. So the old information kind of gets overwritten. Null statements. Any or all the statements in a for loop can be left out. To accomplish this, you use a null statement, right? The semicolon essentially is like a null. Just like, I don't want to get into it, like strings and such. There's that \0 from the C language. That's kind of the stop. So that the compiler knows when to stop printing stuff out. \0. To accomplish this, you use a null statement. A null statement is simply the use of a semicolon to mark where the statement would have been. Using a null statement, you can create a for loop that acts exactly like a while loop by leaving out the first and third statements. Okay, let's type it up. This is for loops in a nutshell. Okay, guys and gals. Again, I don't have to have that inside. I could go like this, and I could actually do it like this as well. So if I copy this, and I'll just show you one last example. Okay, we're only printing I, and here we're printing J. Okay, so I can't have two for loops, one after the other. Let's build that, and I'll show you this quickly. Just another way of doing things. More tools in your tool chest. All right, I have the space there, that's why it's doing that. So if I get rid of that space and run it again, you can see. So it runs the first one, and then it runs the second one. Okay? It's a singular for loop, right? That's why you only see one iteration. The other way, right? It was a double for loop. It was a two-dimensional iteration. That's why you see more output. Okay? All right. Null statement. So I'm going to clean that up. Okay. Do I need that? I guess I could just go int counter. It doesn't matter where I declare it. It still could be seen. It's still local. Counter equals 0. All right. I've declared an int. Or I could go with unsigned short. If I want to save some memory. It's up to you. Most common, you'll see int. People get to the point where they just type int so much, they just type int, right? It's quicker, faster, easier, and once you do it enough times, you end up just typing int, All right. You got to pay attention to that, right? Especially if you start working with floats and doubles, you got to pay attention to your data types, okay, guys and gals? Okay, so what they're showing here is, here we go. Right there. This is interesting. I've never seen this before. Okay. I'm wondering, I actually might need that. Hold up. I'm going to retype that, but give me a sec, guys and gals. I want to keep this. Okay, I want to keep that. All right, and then I'm going to delete this again. Okay, and then I'm going to go unsigned, short, counter equals 0. All right, and then I'll just do a quick build. All right, starting again. 4. There we go. Okay, I always do that first. Double this and then my body, right? And then just fill in the information after. So they start with a semicolon, which is interesting. And then counter is less than, and I'm being consistent here with the pattern that I've been going with. That's it, right? I've never done that. Oh, right, we need a semicolon here. Always, because that ends the statement. Well, I guess seeing the pattern, there's 2 semicolons. At least, minimum. Always 2 semicolons. All right, let's go plus plus counter. They're putting the increment inside, which works just the same, just like we were doing while loops, guys and gals. I want to test this just to see what's up. Looping, and then I'll put a couple of spaces to create gaps because we're not new lining. And then outside the for loop, we're going to print, just like we did with the while loops from last stream. Counter and counter. And then I don't know if I want to clean the buffer if I want with a standard end line. All right, builds and run. No errors. Let's go. Works just like a while loop. So that's what it is. You could use a for loop all the time. You don't even need to use a while loop. So this is the syntax for that. Okay, guys and gals? All right. I don't think you'll see that anywhere else on any channel. Okay, let's drop the A's. Don to the 1. Let's go, brother. Appreciate you, Don. I'm just checking the stream now, bro. Because I got dual monitors set up, I got so much tabbed up right now that the stream is behind the scenes. And yeah, guys, gals, support Don to the 1. If you like Fortnite, the guy's awesome, Fortnite grinder. Check him out. I want to say hello. Yeah, I got it right there. Hello, Donna. I'm already saying hello to you, Don. I got you up all the time, bro. Got you up all the time. Turn it up. I want to fix that. I don't want that extra enter. I'm going to get rid of that extra enter. Yeah, that looks better. I might want to do a double enter here instead. Let's double enter right here. Okay. Create some space. Visually easier to read. There we go. That's better. That looks good. Right on, Don. Don rated me last week. Man, he's like, even thanks to him, I got another follow. A new friend here in Twitch land. You guys on Twitch, man, I'm loving you guys and gals over here. You're hitting up with the views. It's crazy. Crazy, and I love it. I love it. I truly do. Appreciate you, Don. You're awesome, brother. Pretty awesome dude. I'm telling you. You're solid. For real, for real. I like that. All right, let me continue. Let's keep going. Again, you're a winner and not a quitter. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That is awesome. I gotta remember to do that. As a matter of fact, I might want to keep that. Let me go like this. I am going to go like this. Actually, I'm just going to copy all of this. And there. Boom. And then I'm going to save this. Because I like to kind of go, oh yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I'm building programs and that, and I'm doing different things, and then I'll recall something that I've done in the past, and I like to make sure I have it backed up so that I could just go, hey, yeah, I could do this. Null statement in for loops. That's pretty awesome. Null statements in for loops. There we go. Saving that. Okay, let's continue. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. Illustrating an empty for loop statement. An empty one? Ha! Okay. Let's try different things, guys, gals. Let's try different things. This is fun. So they got counter equals 0. They got a max. Okay, this is our start, right? Remember, this is our start. The little parts, right, that you have to remember. Okay, initialization. And then they have a max. Yeah, that's my loop break. Loop break's my max. I already got that. I'm going to clean this up. And they have, this is one of those, how many hellos again? So I'm going to go like this, and we're going to say hello to Dawn a whole bunch of times. All right. And there we go. Let's check it out. And then we got to store in a value because it's an integer, right? Well, it's a short, still an integer. We're going to store it in, we're storing it in what? Well, yeah. What? Oh, the max. Okay. We're storing it in max. That's what we're doing. So, oh, these have to be initialized, don't they? I think that's still initialized. We'll see. We'll see. We're actually putting in our ending values, what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. Kind of analyzing their code here on the fly. So what they have inside is a double semicolon. If I could type a double semicolon. This is kind of cool. You don't really see this much. Okay. What do they call this? They're calling this a for loop that doesn't end. Yikes, that's not good. That's what it is. Aha. So we need something to stop it, right? Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with an infinite loop. And you don't want that, guys and gals. You don't. You do not. How many hellos? Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to cut this out. Actually, I'm going to go like this. And then the question is, how many hellos? All right. Right? It's asking, it's prompting the user, right? User, how many hellos? I'm just going to leave it at that. Good enough. Okay? If counter, that's our start, right, is less than whatever the user enters, okay, that's going to be, user's going to determine when that stops. Okay? Oops, I need a semicolon. They have, well, it's still a for loop, so I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to do this because we're still, even though we're inside an if statement, I'm still going to use that. And then they're going to go, they're plusing counter. Okay? Because that's what we need to increment. That's our continuation, right? See if I can find that section. How far down did I go here? Now I have to kind of find where I was here. Let me see. Where are you? Right here. Okay. So the plus plus is our iteration or loop continuation. Okay. Just so you can see where they are, right? We're doing the same thing. It's kind of like we're setting it up the same way as a while loop, guys and gals. We're just setting a for loop up the same way you would set up a while loop. Really, that's all it is. Okay? We have our start. We have our stop or end, right? Which is the condition. Okay? And then we have our plus plus. Incrementing, right? And then else and then break. Okay. It's going to have an else. You can go without curly brackets, but I like them. I'm still putting them in. And then they're throwing in a break. Okay? That's what's going to break out of the code. Without this, you have an infinite loop. Okay? Let's build that. And where do I have an error? On 61, const probably. Left hand. No operator found. What's up? 61. Okay, is it because it's consted? Consting? I wonder if that's it. I'm gonna go loop, break. Go like this and like this. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not 100%. Loop break undeclared. What? Oh, right here. There we go. Control Shift B. That's what it was. It didn't even tell me. It wasn't even explicit about that because my brain molecules from grinding enough code can figure things out. Okay? It didn't actually explicitly tell me because it was a const, right? So if you are getting, here's what's happening, guys, okay? If you're going to get the user, because that was a constant earlier, right? I'm going to undo. Okay? Here it's const, right? You can't change the value of a const. That's why. All right? So, and I should have known that ahead of time. I should know these things. I do know what a const is, but I don't know, just wasn't paying full attention. All right? But I don't worry about these things because I could figure it out on the fly. Anyways, so yeah, that's the reasoning. So if I run it again, it will give me that error, but it doesn't say anything about const. Whoops. I better do that again. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the constness. I've initialized it to 0. And just make sure you update both of these as well. Okay? And we should be good. And let's run it. How many hellos? Let's start with 5. Let's go. Works great. Turn it up. Turn it up. That's pretty slick. I might even throw in, and just to kind of create some separation, throw in a standard end line. You can't do that after CN, okay? There is no standard end line. You're not allowed after when you're getting you're storing a value into this variable. You can't do that, okay? Let's go 12 this time. Turn it up. Turn it up. Isn't this fun? That's so cool. So little different things. Again, Different tools in your tool chest, guys and gals. Different tools in your tool chest. I kind of like it, to be honest. It's not the style I usually, the most common way you would write a for loop, the normal way. There is actually a for each one, but we'll get there. That's another time. For each is nice and clean. I actually like the for each. We'll get there all in due time, guys and gals. We'll get there. I want to save this. It is called what again? empty for loop. File, save as. There we go. Save. Boom. Done. All right, let's keep going. How's your day going, by the way? All right, I don't need to explain, but although this particular program is somewhat absurd, sometimes a for loop or a while true loop is just what you'll want. You'll see an example of a more reasonable use of such loops when switch statements are discussed. Okay? I don't know if I don't know if this style is recommended. I don't know if it's frowned upon. It could be. I mean, it's the OG way of writing things, and it doesn't hurt to have an understanding. Let's say you're researching on the internet somewhere and you see this, right? You're not going to even have a clue what it is, but now you do. Now you do. Okay? Empty for loops. Because so much can be done in the header of a for loop statement, at times you won't need the body to do anything at all. In that case, be certain to put a null statement, which is a semicolon, right? Okay. Where am I here? Put a null statement as the body of the loop. Okay. They put it inside, which, of course, semicolons do go inside of a body of a block of code. The semicolon can be on the same line as the header, but this is easy to overlook. Now, it's not common to see it code typed like this if you're doing your own learning and researching. But it's no different than me going like this. Right? The white space, remember, white space is meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. Okay? Again, our human readability, we look at it and we go cringe, right? And that's the way we normally type things. Okay, so null statement as the body of a for loop. All right? Let's type what? Okay, this is interesting. Okay. Let's clean things up. Do I need... I guess I won't need this. Okay. Because we're going to use I. But I do want the stop. So I do want this. Because we're not getting a user to change this. Right? You can't change a const. Okay? Remember that. I showed you that right here. You can see what happens. Okay, and it's going to equal to 6 again. All right, because I like doing symbolic constants. All right. Okay, so here's the code they have. For, it's interesting, but let's type it up. So we're going to declare I, and we're going to start it at 0. Okay, let me move that. And then what? Okay, so I is less than our loop break. Another semicolon. And here's a part I've never seen before. This is interesting. Okay, inside the for loop, what I think of as putting in parameters or arguments. They're trying to break my brain here a little bit, but anyways, apparently you can do this sort of thing. Let's see. And then go like this, and then we're gonna plus I here. Man, you guys are really going off. And then they have a standard end line. So can you get away with doing this? And there is no semicolon at the end of that. And as a matter of fact, they don't even have these. They just have the semicolon right there. That's it. That's wild sauce. Let's build this, see if it actually... No errors, no compiler errors. Let's run this. Shut the front door, Batman. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's wild. That is wild. Things that you learn. It's kind of a little cool course. Cool little course outline, guys and gals. You won't find this anywhere on the internet. I don't know. Maybe you will. I've never seen this before. It's pretty cool. Again, if you already know how to code, you'll know what you're typing. So I could look at this stuff. I could see new code. I could read new code. I could try to decipher and analyze other people's code. I have that ability. Again, if you grind enough code, you can do this too, right? Not just me. You can do it too. You can do it! Let's go. I believe in you. You know I do. So that's cool. So what if I go like this? Does it work the same? Control X and Control V. There we go. Okay, this time I'm going to put it inside curly brackets. And no issues. That's pretty wild. I like it. That's cool. Not very clean, but you can literally do this and one line everything. Right? And then I could get rid of that. Right? That's one lining. It's exactly the same thing, guys and gals. The only thing is you didn't create enters. That's it. Right? So if you're seeing code like that, that's why. Okay? Everything's being written in line. Still will work. I'll run it and build it. No issues. Okay? Alright, let's keep moving forward. Again, the common way you'll see it done is like this. This is the most common. Okay? For just a basic for loop, int I equals, it could be 0 or 1, whatever you want to start with. The most common is 0 or 1. Okay? I is less than. I like to create a symbolic constant. Another smart thing to do is to probably keep it above your for loop. If you have big code, if you're writing big, I don't know. Let's say your code is 500 and some lines or whatever, for example. Okay? It's a lot of code to scroll up and down through, right? Commonly, you would have your local variables kind of close to the top where int main is, right? So if you're at line 500, of course, the compiler reads things line by line. It's going to know this information ahead of time, but it's not going to use it until it reaches this for loop, which happens to be at line 541, for example. Okay? It'll still work. You won't have any issues, okay? Because it's already read the value of this up here. Okay? So I could go down another 500 lines. It'll be fine. What are we at here? 61. So I should maybe go 61, right? Just so it makes more sense. Okay. It still works, but let's say you're only doing the for loop in the area of line 561. Okay. Probably makes most sense just to keep it close. Okay. And then you can just kind of update it right here, because if it's way up here and then you get down to 561 and you're like, well, what is loop break? You could look at it and go, well, I know it's a constant because it's all uppercase. You will know that much, but you don't know what the value is. That's the only thing. Anyways, just little tips. Now you could go I plus plus, or you could go plus plus I. It's up to you guys and gals. You'll see both forms. If you see somebody going plus plus I, you'll know why. Right? Learning, when somebody's learning, majority of the time you're going to see I plus plus. Okay? It still works. It'll still run quick. It'll still spit out the information quickly. Again, it's in milliseconds. Our natural brains don't really pick up on it quickly enough. But again, if you're going I plus I plus I plus I plus I plus I plus I, it all adds up over time, right? Eventually that millisecond becomes seconds. That makes sense? Okay. All right. And there we go. We're just gonna, so that's the normal way you'll see a for loop written. Okay? It's common, very common. All right, and it's okay to use standard end line. You can use it. I mean, if you're learning, it don't matter. Okay? Some companies may even want you to use this. I don't know. Again, we're inside a for loop. That's the only time it's inside a for loop will you do this. Sometimes you won't even have that. You'll have maybe this instead. Right? Watch this. Because now what I've done is I've turned it into an inline situation. The enter doesn't, you don't want to enter in this case, right? There's no enter. See that? Everything's inline. Okay, 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, or I mean I 0, I 1, I 2, I 3, I 4, I 5. Okay, I can create more space. See, I 0, I 1, I 2. Inside this, in our string literal, white space matters if you want to call it white space. Any space that's in here doesn't matter. I could go enter like this. It's not going to print out all these enters. Well, maybe it will. I don't want to find out. Okay. I'm just going to go like that. Okay, let's just leave it. You can test that out on your own. Again, I was between the quotations. That's why it matters. But anything in between, like I could go like this. This white space doesn't matter. Okay, just be clear. It's not gonna print all these enters. Okay, it's just not. Okay, and then we type code so that it's human readable, right? I could go like this. Maybe not. Let me go like this. It's a bad example. Maybe I could go like this. Whoops. Doesn't like that at all. Right? I could go like this, and it'll still run. As long as I don't break it anywhere. Okay? This will still run. Right? That's kind of That's garbage. Like, it doesn't like it very much. It kind of fluttered there, but it'll still work. Okay? But again, we can't read that, right? That's not human readable. And it'll probably... Look at that. Look at how nice and smooth that ran. Did you notice the difference? It kind of cringed. It cringed at me when I hit. The compiler's cringing at me, boys and girls. It's going, what are you doing, Bob? How are we doing for time here? We're almost there. Okay, let's type up another little program, and I think that's going to be it for today. Nesting loops. Any of the loop can be nested within the body of another. The inner loop will be executed in full for every execution of the outer loop. Okay, let's see what they're talking about. Okay, oh yeah, this is kind of a two-dimensional thing, isn't it? All right, let's just see. So they have int rows, int columns. Okay, this would be kind of like a two-dimensional, I don't want to say two-dimensional array, but okay, do I need... Okay, no, I don't. Okay, we're going to be doing... It can't be const. Okay, I'm just going to keep it all together. All right, and I'm going to use unsigned short. Okay, rows and columns. You guys all know what rows and columns are. Okay. If you ever worked on an Excel spreadsheet or something, you know. Columns. Okay, rows and columns. And then we're going to ask, we're prompting the user now. Okay, user prompt. If you're following the series, you know what I mean. Let's go like this. Wow, gooder English. Okay, how many rows? There, okay. No new line. And then we're going to store that back in to our variable. Of course, we're going to use row. Actually, it should be plural, not singular. Okay, rows, there. Okay, and then I'm going to just copy this. Anytime you copy like that, make sure you update your information. How many columns? How many columns? There we go. All right, what's next? How many rows? How many columns? What character do you want to use? Okay, we're going to use a char. Oh, there is a char. Okay, cool. As soon as they say characters. So now we're going to use char for the first time. And it's whatever random character you want to use on your keyboard. Okay? And we're going to call it the char. And we're not even going to initialize it to anything. I could go like this. Just single quotes. Technically, that's kind of initializing. Okay? I could build it. It'll still be fine. So that's my initialization. I put a space, but it'll still work without it. No, it doesn't. My bad. I knew it. Right? I knew it. It needs that space because the space is a character. That's why. Okay? My bad for saying that, guys and gals. You do need the space because mind-blowing as it is, space is a character. Hence, the space bar. Right? The space bar. Every time you press the space bar, you're creating that empty block. Okay. And now we got to store that in. So what character? So go like this. I'm just going to copy. And I'm going to make sure I go the char. Okay. I got to store it in the right thing or the User, which character do you want to use? Okay, it's kind of lengthy, but it's pretty clear. Okay, now let's do a for. And we're gonna do the common stuff with a for loop. Int I. It's gonna be, we're declaring and initializing. Okay, we're gonna begin at 0, semicolon. I is gonna be less than rows. Okay, this is gonna be the double for loop. Remember, we did the double for loop. It's the same thing, guys and gals. Okay, and I. And then inside that one, I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm changing it to J. Right, this is a 2-dimensional one. Remember that? J, and this time J's for columns. Okay, don't mess that up. Make sure. All right, let me look at the code. And I'm correct. I is equal to 0, I is less than rows, plus I. Second for loop, it's a for loop inside of a for loop. And then we're gonna actually print out the char inside the second for loop. Okay? And that's all we're doing. We're printing the char. Okay, nothing else. And then we're still in, let's see, oh, that's outside, has to be. Right here, we're gonna do standard, because we're inside of a for loop, I'm gonna go like this. Ends a single character, that's why I use single quotes. The backslash character, I don't know how that works under the hood. It's almost like it's not a character. I don't know how to explain that. I got no logic for that. But the N is a character. So that's why I'm using single quotes. In case you were wondering that. I always go double quotes for a double enter. Okay? If you've been following the series, you know what I mean. All right, I'm gonna build that. I have the enter happening outside this for loop. Okay, notice the position. Okay, I is equal to 0, I is less than rows, plus I. Second for loop, I is equal int I is J equals to 0. J is less than columns, plus J. And then inside our J for loop, we're going to print out the character. All right, so this is kind of cool. Now you can actually visually get to see a 2-dimensional output. So let's go 4 rows. You know what a row is. And let's go 12 columns. Which character do you want to use? Let's use X, because it'll be clear to see. Let's go. Drop in the yays. Drop in the yays. You see that? That's pretty cool, huh? 1, 2, 3. So there's 12 there. 4 rows. 4 rows. 4 rows, 12 columns. 12 columns. It's nice and organized too. Clean. Looks good, doesn't it, guys and gals? There's your example of a double for loop. You'll see them. This is common to see. There's other terminology or theory or whatever it's called, right? I just call it like a 2-dimensional for loop, if you want to call it that. When you get into arrays and that, you'll see there's 2D arrays, there's 3D arrays. It can really break your brain a little bit. But at least this is an introduction with for loops, right? Because you can use for loops with arrays. All right? Stay tuned for that. But that's pretty cool, right, guys? Let me go like this. I want to create just a... Yeah, well, I'm kind of cleaning the buffer, but whatever. Okay, don't worry about that. Standard end line cleans the buffer. All right, let's run. We'll do the same thing. Let's go 5 this time and 5 again. Okay, which character you want to use? Let's use J. Boom. And you could actually, you know, I don't know, maybe get your parents to do something like that. Type this up, if parents, roommate, or whatever, and then you could go, hey, check this out. Look what I did. Look what I learned today. Okay, how many rows do you want? I don't know. Let's go 7. You can change the number anytime. 14. What character you want to use? I don't know. Oh, this time. Oh, let's go. Let's go. All right, we're going to finish up here. Let's see. There's no sense reading all this. I could give you the breakdown of this, but again, you kind of seen earlier when I did the double for loop, you got a pretty good idea how it works, right? It kind of runs the I's first, and then it prints all the J's, and then it runs this second loop of I and prints the J's, if you remember that, right? The important idea here is that by using a nested loop, there we go, that's the other concept, nested loop. So that's probably a good idea to save that. Word of the day, nested loops, okay? If you hear of nested loops, just think I and J, okay? And that'll be easy to remember, right? Nested loops, I and J. The inner loop is executed for each iteration of the outer loop, right? Remember that, right? So when it's at 0, it goes through all the J's. And then when it goes to 1, then it'll go through all the J's. You understand what I mean? If you have to go back in the video to where I initially did the double for loop, you'll understand. As an aside, many C++ programmers use the letters I and J as counting variables. This tradition goes all the way back to Fortran, in which the letters I, J, K, L, M, and N were the only counting variables. Okay, I kind of like that. So I'm going to save this. I've been meaning to clean this up, but I haven't got to it yet. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go like this and like this. That way you can see it clearly. The tradition goes all the way back to Fortran, in which the letters, right? I could go like this. Nested loops. So it makes more sense. All right. Although this might seem innocuous, readers of your program can become confused by the purpose of the counter. I like single variables instead of long names. For me, that's what I like. And might use it improperly. You can even become confused in a complex program with nested loops. I don't know. Again, I have this saying. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find my sayings. Where are you? is that in? Sorry, guys. I thought I would find it pretty quick. Well, here it is. When they say it's impossible for them, not for you. Losers quit when they fail. Winners fail until they succeed. Let's go! Okay, so the point is, it may be confusing for them. It's not confusing for you. All right, let's go. Scoping in for loops. All right. All right, I'll show you the scope. Yeah, you have to have an understanding. I kind of went over it a little bit briefly when I moved my I inside my J for loop. Scoping. You'll hear the word scoping. Really what they mean is kind of the same concept as local global. Okay, can the variable be seen in your scope? That's what we're going to get into next. And then we're going to kind of finish up on loops, another loop to go through. And then we're going to eventually get into switch statements. That's the plan for next stream. Much love, guys, gals. My throat's a little bit itchy right now. Excuse me. Much love to you for watching and viewing the content. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for following and watching along. That is great. Johnny here, Whiskey Tango Sharp Coding. I appreciate you all. I will see you in the next live stream or not live stream. Appreciate you all. You know I say it a lot. I know I do. But I just want you to know I do appreciate you. I will see you guys and gals next video. For now, whoever you are, wherever you are, have a great day, evening, noon, and night. Great weekend as well. Be safe. Much love. Johnny for now saying peace out, guys. Take care. And peace.